Cash and I were the only two. I don't think there was anyone else. We were the only two that would not take the deals, and they just kept upping the money and upping the money. And we said no. I remember the first option for myself. I don't want to speak for Cash. I don't know what he got. The first option was $450. We said no. Eventually it got up to $750 and we said no. Eventually, it could have gotten to 7 figs and we would have said no, maybe. But it was, it was to the point where even the cash wasn't enough for us. And that's saying a lot, because I remember the time they offered us the maximum amount of money they offered us. And I had to call my wife and had to say, hey, babe, this is what they offered us, this amount of money. The most money I'd ever been offered in my entire life. I mean, every offer was the most money.
On the face, a ludicrous amount of money.
Right? It was crazy amount of money. I said, but I think we're going to tell them no. And I wasn't afraid to tell my wife that, because she's the greatest person I know and she's always, on my side. But I was worried because I didn't want her to have to say, okay, that's fine. I wanted to know what she actually thought. And as soon as I told her, she said, look, none of this is worth your happiness. Do whatever you feel is right. And right from there, I went right back into the office and I said, hey, we're not going to take it. And it is cash or creative. But at some point, neither cash nor creative helps with your happiness. It doesn't help with your mental health. And I needed to be able to come home every week to my wife and daughter and be happy. And none of that was going to do that. Maybe the cash would have helped me for a little bit, it would have given me that comfort for a little bit, but in the long run, I don't think it would have. And then I would have brought it home to her. And then, who knows if in a year, 2 years later, she would have been sick of that and she would have left me because I was such a miserable human being.
Right.
And I would have been lost, completely lost.
Well, maybe if you took those contracts, you wouldn't be drinking such shitty, cheap tequila.
Yeah, I guess I'm doing okay now as far as tequila goes.
The following Raw and SmackDown, you guys weren't on, but you just talked about your contracts and all that, and your mood and how you were feeling. In the Observer on September 30th, it's reported that the WWE has extended Daniel Wheeler's contract for another 10 weeks due to the period he was out of action in 2016 with a broken jaw. How'd that work for morale there, Dax?
Yeah, not too good. Immediately we went and talked to Mark Carrano, and he said he apologized. They had to do it. And he promised us, he gave us his word, which for Mark Carrano doesn't mean too much, but he gave us his word it wouldn't happen to me, because they knew that we wanted out, and they knew we wanted to be gone. He said it would not happen for me as far as my bicep goes. When I tore my bicep, he said we're not even worried about that. That's water under the bridge. Dave, your contract will be up in April. Cash, your contract will be up in July, I think is what it was. And then you guys will be completely free. And we said, thank you, Mark. We have you at your word. We believe you. And we went from there. Was not too happy about it, but we knew that it would at least give us both a couple of months off if we were done in April, right? For me. And then we were waiting for him in July. At least it'd give us some time off to rest our bodies, because 2019 was such a crazy ass year as far as traveling.
Or you could achieve your dream of becoming a 2-time 24/7 champ.
Nah, not going to happen, dude. Not going to happen. I would have refused to hold that belt.